It was in the midnight of April 25th, 1950, when the youngest of the brood of 9 of Maria and Jose Quiboloy was born in a faraway hamlet at the foothills of the Philippines' highest peak. Little did they know that this child, whose fate was intertwined with the Lumads in this small barangay called Tamayong, would live a life of destiny.
I heard that story that my mother saw a vision while she was giving birth to me. That she saw God on a cloud and she heard a voice. And the voice she heard said to her, "That's my son." That was in 1950.
Though the young Apollo was fated to do great things, his life, calling, and training was under tutors and governors, as Galatians 4, verses 1 through 4 underscores. Now I say that the heir, as long as he is a child, differeth nothing from a servant, though he be Lord of all, but is under tutors and governors, until the time appointed of the Father. Even so, we, when we were children, were in bondage under the elements of the world. But when the fullness of the time was come, God sent forth His Son, made of a woman, made under the law.
Noong mag-grade 5 na, kinuha ako ng kapatid ko at pinaaral doon sa Parang, Cotabato, sapagkat ang kanyang asawa is a Magindanawan Muslim.
Kong Helen ingrained in Pastor Apollo values of discipline, honesty, cleanliness, and industriousness. Pastor Apollo's training under his eldest sister Helen was part of the Father's plan, for in the future he would be facing tremendous challenges and responsibilities, being the Almighty Father's appointed son. One of Pastor Apollo's most vivid memories of his calling was of a dream he received when he was a boy of 14. He dreamt of the end of the world. He saw the sky fold up like a map. Flames flung down upon the people of the earth. There was nowhere to run, nowhere to escape. The second night, he dreamt the dream again. This time, he saw the sun become red blood, and he heard the voice say, "And the sun shall be turned into darkness, and the moon into blood, before the notable day of the Lord come." Little did he know that this was the start, when God began to orchestrate his life and to speak to him in visions and dreams.
Nung ako ay tinawag na ng Ama yung orchestration niya, kaya yung mga plano ko, mga kurso kong gustong kunin, hindi ako napunta ng secular college. Napunta ako ng Bible Institute. Doon napag-aralan ko mga salita niya. At nung ako'y pinadala sa Korea, yun nga narinig ko ang tinig niya for the first time, na audible voice na hindi ko ma-explain kung paano, na sinabi niya, "Gamiton ta ka o gagamitin kita." Then narinig ko naman 3 beses nung ako'y umuwi na, papunta ng Palawan. So to make the story short, ginuha niya ako sa denominasyong yon, at ang una kong bagsak ay doon sa Kitbog, sa Malalagkogon. Ang kasama ko naman doon, mga lumad din ng mga bilaan.
To answer his questions, God isolated him in 2 mountains. First, in Mount Quiboloy, also called the Mountain of Decision. For 1 year, God showed him visions and revelations to prove it really was him calling Pastor Apollo.
So nung nalaman ko siya ang tumatawag sa akin, nag-decide ako, Ama, susunod po ako sa inyong dakilang kalooban, anuman yun. Hindi ko alam ang future ko. Hindi ko alam kung ano ang nasa unahan.
It was the implantation of the righteous seed, which is the spirit of obedience to the will of the Father in man. From Quiboloy, Pastor Apollo was isolated again in Mount Tamayong for an intense spiritual training. That was when the seed grew up and was born in him. He went through unceasing tests of dedication, commitment, and loyalty to the will of the Father. There, he learned absolute obedience.
I ate the bread of affliction, and I drank the water of adversity in that mountain, in this place where I was born, at the foothills of Mount Apple.
The righteous seed matured after his experience in the furnace of affliction. Finally, the spiritual DNA of the Father was divinely transferred to one man from the fallen endemic race. And a voice was heard in fulfillment of Revelation 21:7. Now you are my son.
So I went there, not knowing what is in the future for me. But that is where the Father poured out all of these revelations to me that I am sharing to the whole world today. The A to Z of salvation.
Now that the completion of the Almighty Father's work of salvation has been completed, Pastor Apollo C. Quiboloy is boldly trumpeting to the whole world the message of the one who has ordained him to become the appointed Son of God and heir of all things.
He's just an ordinary man like us, but he was called, he was chosen, he was anointed and appointed to become the Son of God in these last days.
He said, I will make you my audible voice to these people. They have never seen me, but you and me are one. I am your Father, you are my Son. I am from a Gentile nation, you are from a Gentile nation. My father and mother are pure human beings. He saved me first so that He could save you through me. And I came here, and the Father is using me. I am not being used by religion. I'm not being used by denomination. I'm being used by the Father Almighty. And He sent me here to tell you that this is now the time for you to become sons and daughters of God, just like me.
But he is being pilloried by those who refuse to believe that he is indeed the Son of God.
Apollo Quiboloy, I told them, he is a cult. Why are you listening to him? Stop listening to him. I know my Bible. I know my theology. He is a cult. Don't ever listen to him.
Claimed to be a new Messiah.
And personal
He is
helicopter.
maligned in every turn, where nasty and envious quarters watch him trip or speak of words that are unfamiliar with dogmas or beliefs of traditional church.
Ako na ang namamahala. The Son is the new owner of the world.
Apollo Quiboloy, the most successful of the world's self-proclaimed saviors.
for sex.
He was not charged.
But instead
He
of
was not
reciprocating
debased.
hate, he launches the revolution of the contrary.
In the midst of all of this, you see how the Father has really made the kingdom nation great. It is through this also that we have shown the greater and the greatest gift to all mankind, which is love. That's why we have this thing, all we need is love.
Pastor Apollo C. Quiboloy might be the most vilified minister of God in the sight of the unbelieving, but not for all.
Papang Pastor Apollo C. Quiboloy is love.
Every single day, I am with our beloved pastor, and all I can see is nothing but love and goodness.
The portrayal of Pastor Apollo of those opposing his teaching is more of caricature of somebody that they want people to believe. I knew the man. He is the appointed Son of God, but he is also the Father. I and thousands like me never had.
Alam mo yung bata na yung utak mo na parang kumbaga sa papilyan mo, wala pang laman yan. Whatever, kung sinong mauna makasulat doon, yun ang matatandaan niya. Kaya nga, that's also part of our program sa de-radicalization ng mga extremists dyan sa Muslim areas. Kasi ang tinatarget nila, mga bata talaga. And that is a very good start. Fight for peace, start with the minds of the kids. Pero, kailangan bigyan mo rin yung mga kids ng something to ride on, like education.
Pagre-remind ako sa inyo, hindi lang presidente ng paaralan ito, kundi para na rin ninyong ama habang kayo ay nandito sa institusyon na ito. I will treat you as my own children.
Quiboloy đã chỉ nhận tiền của nhóm ai nên nơi sầm là CMCIA. Nhưng xong ở con pastor đại ban đầu tiên ở nhóm nơi caศึกษาhay năng caรุ่นnơiจิตจัง
ก็ไม่มีเงินที่จะสร้างก็ที่พ่อมาสร้างให้ก็รู้สึกต้องขอบคุณด้วยครับขอบคุณมาก
For him to be able to look at the situation here, he's making us a part of his life.
Let's help the children in Africa.
We love you, Pastor Apollo C. Quiboloy. We love you.
Pastor, quiero decirle que las palabras se quedarían cortas.
Gracias, Pastor Apollo. Build each other's lives. A world of peace we once designed, where all people will share. Love is the way. 'Cause you love everything. It's possible. It's so powerful. Let it break all barriers to set us free. 'Cause we love everything.
Salamat jud kay kung dili sila wala jud mi kaunong diri.
Abangan niyo so makararaganan. Salamat.
Iisip ko na kung sino ba si Pastor Quiboloy sa pamamagitan ng binigay niya sa amin na oportunidad.
Salamat, Pastor. Wala ka nakalimot sa amoa. This world is mine. I will renew it. Yan ang tinatawag na new heavens and a new earth.
It's like living, coming into a different world. A world where there is order. A world where it's clean. A world where you're safe. A new culture of being. A world which teaches you to build up yourselves and create the world that you want to be.
I am making you as an example to other young people all over the world that there is a place in this world we call a new world where you can use your talent with dignity and nobility, glorifying the Almighty Father.
Antes eu gostava bem de ficar parado, mas agora que eu estou aqui no reino, eu aprendi realmente como ser útil.
Accusations they throw against me, no matter what persecutions or attacks that will be made against me, enlightenment will rule all over the world. He didn't just give me his name just like that. I was proven. That's the principle of salvation. By the obedience of one, all will be saved. By the disobedience of one, many died. But by the obedience of one, all will be made righteous.
He sent me here to tell you that this is now the time for you to become sons and daughters of God, just like me.
I cannot go against the truths. The truth should prevail, and the truth should remain. After 10 years of calling him a cult, my brothers and sisters, my mouth now is begin confessing that truly the Almighty Father is here on earth today. He found a temple. He found a house. He found a bride, a residence by which he can live, and that is through the person of our beloved pastor, Pastor Apollo C. Quiboloy.
And I know I am his because he enlightened me.
The greatest miracle I can do, which is greater than all the miracles of healing, greater than all the miracles of the crippled people walking, greater than the miracle of a dead man being raised from the dead, is none other than the change of the spirit that is within us. The toppling down of Satan, Lucifer, the devil, from dominating and owning this world, owning all the souls of men. He is now ejected from this earth, from this world. There's no greater miracle than that.
My vices, they left me like scales of a leper skin, falling off from me. With every word that Pastor Apollo speaks, I am made clean.
I cannot thank you enough for the love and patience you have bestowed upon me, to Ruth and Stephanie. Truly, you are the healer and the remaker of the broken souls that Satan has destroyed.
As you all know, I grew up identifying myself as a gay. I dressed up like a woman. I acted like a woman. But the Almighty Father can turn water into wine. He can change a gay person like me to a new creation.
I was once a practicing lesbian. Without knowing, I was deceived by Satan, Lucifer, the devil, because of wrong belief and tradition. Now I stand before you as a daughter of the Almighty Father, a living testimony to the LGBTQ community and to all the world that, yes, it is possible to leave the old life behind and to live according to the Father's complete and perfect will.
So if you think that Pastor is evil, just look at the members and full-time miracle workers of the Kingdom Nation. Because we are the products of Pastor's good works and sacrifices through the years. You will know the tree by its fruit. You may not even know it. Pastor Apollo will be the one to feed you, to save you from natural calamities, or save your own children from harm. The appointed Son of God, Pastor Apollo C. Quiboloy, is in fact saving millions of lives all over the world, and that includes me.
You are indeed what we have been waiting for. You came all the way from far just to come for us, to rescue us from some misfortunes.
I think he's a really good person. Even what he's doing right now, to everything that he's doing a wonderful job at it. It's awesome.
He threw away his personal dreams and ambitions, followed the Almighty Father's calling through with an uncertain future, completed the Almighty Father's work of salvation in these last days, and leave his observers in a state of envy and awe. What makes Pastor Apollo C. Quiboloy different from other religious leaders? He is not ordained by any man, but it is the Almighty Father in heaven himself who has made him the appointed and anointed Son of God and heir of all things. And he is leading the world with the revolution of love.